So, when it comes to love, romance, and relationships, I keep reminding both myself and yourself, if you're watching, that as a Muslim, you need to be very careful with that. Yes, you need to be very careful with your emotions. Don't think that you can trust man with your feelings as much as you can trust Allah with your feelings. I have learned that the hard way. I have been heartbroken too many times, too often. And why have I been heartbroken? Because I fall in love easily, or perhaps I idealize men easily, or perhaps I have this void in my life where I haven't received fatherly affection that much. So I am always trying to look for that in men, and of course, that's a big mistake. I don't think that when it comes to love, guys, I don't know whether you believe in love or not. Let me ask myself the question: do I believe in love? What is love? Of course, I do believe in love. I believe in love between a mother and a child, between friends, between Allah and His servant. That kind of love I totally believe in. But when it comes to the love that in movies and books you hear people say, the love between a man and a woman, I think it's more about lust. There is nothing wrong in lust. Even Allah has not condemned lust as such. It's totally legitimate to have that feeling for the opposite sex. But of course, it's highly recommended to frame it to give it the framework of marriage and do things properly. You don't just become a slave of your passions like an animal. But just to come back to my topic, from what I have seen and experienced with the guys I have dated or courted briefly, very briefly and very superficially, I can tell you that perhaps for us women, if we have a man in our lives, we are going to be focused on that man only. We are not interested in considering other men. I'm the type of woman, if a guy loves me, I'm happy with only that one guy. I'm not interested to know, he's enough for me. I can do everything for him. Unfortunately, that's not how most men think. It seems like men really, they are in for that physical pleasure and physical sexual need. When it comes to, we often talk about the ideal Muslim man, or even the Muslim man for short. I don't know many Muslim men who lower their gaze. I don't know many Muslim men who are faithful to their partners. Now, that's a very tricky one. I'm not saying that all men are cheating, or cheating, unfaithful husbands or partners, but I know that there are many men who are interested in checking out other women, or flirting, texting, and even with their eyes trying to seduce other women, even if they call themselves Muslim. And unfortunately, no matter how religious the guy might pretend to be, I have known guys who were literally studying to become imams in South Africa, but they were, really chatting up girls like that casually. So this has become extremely normalized now. I won't tell you that I haven't done it. I understand that sometimes we live in a world where you have to communicate with someone. Even if you're considering to have a future with them, of course you're going to communicate. I think that's between you and Allah and Him. Of course, you need to be careful when you're texting. Like, don't let the guy go into make you uncomfortable. Send you messages that you can see clearly that he's obsessed with that. But the problem is that after a while, you can't just keep texting forever. You can't just keep doing that and pretending that it's compatible with Islam. The beauty of Islam is that Allah doesn't want you to be hurt. That's why Allah is telling you to not give these people your heart so quickly without them being committed to you. Of course, it's again, like I'm saying, that's why you see many amazing people single, many girls who are not able to get married. It's not that us girls are perfect or that we are better, that we don't sin, we do. But if I speak for myself personally, I can tell you that when I have loved the guy or the guy says they love me, I just want to spend my life with them. That's what would make me the happiest woman in the world. I don't care how many times you tell me you love me. I don't care how many gifts you give me. I don't care what kinds of long messages, or even if you're calling me 50 times a day, I don't care. At some point, if you're a true Muslim, if you call yourself a Muslim man, and you pretend that you love me, then at least have the guts to marry me. There is no other way, guys. In Islam, you can't talk about love and not talk about marriage. This is not Islam. You don't love in adultery. You don't love someone and then you know, you're not willing to do things honorably. So that bothers me. That bothers me a lot. I don't understand, and I have found myself on the verge of really perhaps sacrificing my religion, just because sometimes, you know, you get heartbroken and depressed and you lose faith. You tell yourself that I'm doing all these efforts to become a good Muslim, and I'm concerned about about how Allah will think about me. I know that Allah is watching, and I don't want to be. I'm proud of being Muslim. I don't want to violate these principles just to fit in. But then sometimes, if the loneliness and the darkness overpowers you, you tend to feel that perhaps you should leave Islam altogether. That's the trap of shaitan, of course. It's very scary. Isn't it very scary that you're someone who, mashallah, you're improving in your faith? Let me just talk about myself. A couple of years ago, I was dressing up very, very scantily. You know, I'd rather not talk about that, but I'm very ashamed. That was not right. Then slowly, I started wearing hijab, and I started taking Islam more seriously and preserving my chastity and all of that. I'm very proud of that. However, I will not deny that in moments when people reject you, or people are playing with your emotions and they don't seem to give you that level of dignity that we should be given, you feel like maybe it's not worth it. Like, why am I even trying? Why am I even doing that? See, look around you, everyone seems to be having fun. That's how shaitan is. You should be very careful and not allow shaitan to mess up with your mind.